Hi crafters, it's Karen, and I have another project to share with you. I created a mini album using the Prima Divine papers, really sweet, shabby chic vintage papers with all those beautiful pastel tones. So I used that. I used some of the Prima Divine note cards. The ones I used I had received from Lydia. She's at Triple Dog Dare You. Thank you, Lydia. But they just now started selling them at Hobby Lobby as well, so you can find them there. I used some of the chipboard pieces in my mini album. Look at this, it's stuck. Sorry, in my mini album, but I still have quite a few left. And I also used the Prima Divine stamp set, especially the Gypsy Girl. I think she's a Gypsy Girl. Anyway, it's a really sweet stamp set. And I used this Sizzix die, the Circles 1-inch die, to create a whole bunch of buttons. These are the ones that I didn't end up using, but I created a whole bunch of them using the design paper, the Divine paper. So I think they came out cute. Some of them I didn't get the glossy accents all the way around, but I used the die to cut out the circles, then I used my Crop-A-Dile to cut out the buttonholes, then covered them with glossy accents. I distressed them with my vintage photo distress ink, and I think they just complemented the album real nicely. So that's what I did. So this is the mini album. It's a paper bag mini album, and I used the paper bags that I had found in the dollar spot at Target quite a while ago, and I thought they were a good size, they were well made, but I miscounted my paper bags because I came up too short, 2 bags short, and I had already created the mini album. So the front page and the back page are brown paper bag brown paper bags, and the rest of them are white. So I think it came out cute, but you know, that was my mistake. So the covers are made out of grunge paper, the Tim Holtz grunge paper, because I like the flexibility of the grunge paper. And what I did was I painted both pieces, the front and the back, with gesso and then the warm white acrylic paint, and then I went over them both with this really sweet netting. It's kind of like a type of tulle or something. It's really sweet. I got it at Hobby Lobby excuse me, at Hobby Lobby, and I just cut it to size, and I used my Mod Podge to adhere it to the front and back cover, and it stayed real nice. It's just really, really cool. So, and then I used my A4 pad to, I believe my A4 pad to cover the front cover with the design paper and the back. For the binding, I didn't put on a binding, you know, to hide the paper bags, you know, in the beginning of the project, which I probably should have. So I used this applique piece, or this crocheted piece that I'd received in a rack, just to cover it a little bit, and this Recollections flower. And so I titled my album Memories, and I cut out the banner page, each banner individually, distress them with vintage photo, used my glossy accents to adhere them to that white and gold baker's twine that I'd found at Target a while ago, and I used my Prima canvas letters to spell out memories. And then for the flower clusters here, this big one here with the charms hanging down is from Prima, and the rest are Wild Orchid Crafts, except for the white ones were given to me by Rosanna. Thank you so much, Rosanna. So, and the little bluebird, the acrylic bluebird, was also given to me in a rack. Really sweet. This is a Recollections flower, and the rest are Wild Orchid Crafts. And this stick pin here is one that I created a little while back, and I thought it would work well with the colors on the cover. And this is a, I believe it's a Recollections wooden piece, and I stuck a bling in the middle there, and I sprayed it with my Heidi Swap sprays, and I adhered it there. Underneath the flowers is another piece of an applique. I tore the papers here so you could see the gold netting underneath just for texture. I thought it was cool. And I added a couple of the buttons that I had created here and here. And I just used string to tie through the buttonholes. And I added a little bit of this bling. Just really cute, I thought. And for the glitter, I used my, it's called, I'll put it in the description box because I forgot to grab it. But it's like the pearl pens, except it's filled with German glitter. And as you can see, it works really well. It's easy to use. It flows real nice. I really like it. So for the enclosure, I took a couple of these Tim Holtz clips and I painted them with gesso and warm white acrylic paint. Then I used some gold chain from Hobby Lobby and let's see, and I added just a few charms. Let's see if I can hold this. I added a small doily, and this is from Julie the Paper Bag Lady. I just thought it was really sweet hanging there. This Cupid charm I had gotten on eBay. Really sweet. It's a nice size too. And then I adhered a little heart charm, and then over here, stuck underneath my paper, is this little piece that I had gotten at Hobby Lobby. So I hope I wasn't out of frame when I just shared those, sorry. But those are the charms, the heart, the Cupid, and the little doily. So it unclips. And like I said, the first page will be a brown paper bag, which I was so upset that I did that, but in the end I think it's okay. So for the inside front cover, I used this sheet from the A4 size, really pretty. I made this a pocket page and just added a couple of the journaling cards from the collection. I did some stamping here, and this is one of the old dollar spot stamps from Michaels. And over here I made another banner using the banner page in the paper pad, and I just cut them out individually, distress them with vintage photo, and put them all on pop dots, the same as I did on the front cover. And then this is a Recollections flower, and the flowers I used throughout this album are from Recollections. They're this pack here. The colors just went really, really well. They look just like Prima. So those are the flowers I used throughout the album, and I just topped it with a little bit of cheesecloth, one of my handmade buttons, and a little piece of fiber there. This side is just a mini Baroque die. I used my vintage photo throughout the whole album, so I layered some more of those flowers, another hand-created button with some string and a bow, just really sweet and simple. And of course, each page will have a tag. And I finished one off to have a photo mat and maybe a place for journaling. And then the next page looks like this. I used I believe it's Hampton Art stamp set to create another hot air balloon, and I raised it on pop dots there just for an accent. This is I believe this is called a top note, but it's a Tim Holtz Sizzix die. Some more of the Recollections flowers. I added some trim from Joann's here. And then the middle flat page is a pocket page, and I used this, it's almost like a vinyl or plastic embellishment but it's a sticker and it's dimensional, so I use that here. And like I said, it's a pocket page, so, or, you know, it has a pocket, so this is a little tag that I created. Added the Recollections flower, the button that I created, and on the string I just added this little heart bead that I believe I had gotten from Marcia. Flat Gold M here on YouTube, really sweet. And then on the back, I first stamped it with my music stamp in the, I forgot the color, but it's a Tim Holtz Distress ink, and then went over that with my Stays On, with the Divine Gypsy stamp. Really cute. And then this one I did the same thing, went over it with the script stamp first, and then went over that with my Stays On and the hot air balloon. That's from like a dollar spot stamp. And it's one of the note cards that go to the collection. And then that page I went over with this trim that I had gotten, I believe, at Joann's. This is another piece that I had created. It's kind of like a, I forgot what you call it, art tile or something. But I went over it with the glossy accents and vintage photo, and it's on chipboard. All the buttons are chipboard. And then another one of those dimensional embellishments there. This page is a pocket page. This is the Tim Holtz die that has these, I think they're called the fancy labels. So I just adhered it here and here, then added a doily from the Paper Bag Lady and the chipboard piece in the middle, and it holds these little note cards. It says I used my music stamp to stamp the music in the background with my Tim Holtz Distress ink, and then went over that with the chandelier stamp from my stash. And this is the same die that created this. I used to create another tag. It says remember, and on the back it says dream, inspire, create, just be you. I love that. And then, of course, there's another, there's another tag in here. And then I just use one of my Just Form stamps for the back. Really cute. And on this page there was also a tag, a photo mat. And there's the Gypsy Girl again. I stamped her a lot in this mini album. I just love her. I think she's cute. On this page, it's a pocket page, but I made the pocket on the top of the page, which I thought worked out really well. This is, I believe this is a Prima flower. Really sweet. It matches the papers perfectly. And then some more of the Recollections flower with a half a back pearl in the middle. And it's holding a couple of these tags. This is a note card from the collection. I used a stamp from my stash. And this is another one of the Tim Holtz, I believe it's fancy labels, I'm not sure. But this is a Divine, from the Divine stamp set, Friends are the Flowers of Life. And then there you go. And then I used another hand-created button, layered on some lace, and another tag in the pocket is this. And on the back I used my key stamp. Really sweet. This half page is also a pocket. I used the mini labels to create this little band here. The flowers were given to me by Rosanna, Zoe LRH 2000, I believe. Hi, Rosanna. And this heart die, or heart die cut, it came from this Tim Holtz Sizzix die. The heart and the arrow are both separate. And then the Cupid, really sweet set. So that's where the heart came from. And this is a postcard from the collection that I just fussy cut. And then in the pocket is another tag. I used this bloomer from Lavish Laces for the top. This is the penny farthing from the Divine stamp set. Layered some Recollections flowers. And then here's the Gypsy Lady again on the back of the note card. And then the other side of this pocket is a dress form. I layered it with the flowers and another one of my buttons, some fiber and a half-back pearl, and it can hold a little journaling tag, Friends of the Flowers of Life, again, with the flowers on the back. And this page here is a, this is trim that Lydia had sent me at one time, so I used that trim and a half of a doily from my stash and a chipboard piece, and it creates just a kind of a place to stick a tag. I love this page the most because of the hot air balloon, of course. And another journaling tag from the collection, and I just stamped a little heart locket there. And then this tag looks like this. I used some yellow cardstock, and then that's the back. And then there's this page. I used my mini Baroque die to create this photo mat. One of the other dimensional embellishments, another rosette from Lavish Laces, and a hand-created button. I went down the side with some mini half-back pearls from Roxy. Thank you so much, Roxy. And then this tag looks like this. Stamped on the back some cupids from a stamp that I had gotten at Michael's at one time. I thought it matched the cupid papers. For this mini page here, I used one of the wood pieces that I found at Hobby Lobby. It's a little bird cage, and I just went over it with some gesso. I wanted to leave the etching that's already in the bird cage there, and then I topped it with the Recollections flower and halfback pearl, and then I just stuck a little postcard that I fussy cut from the collection that can be held in there. I thought it was really sweet. And then for the opposite side there, I used another one of the mini labels to create sort of a pocket here. This silhouette is also a Tim Holtz die. It's a mover and shaper die. And I went over it with gesso and then accented it with vintage photo. And it holds another one of the journaling cards. Really sweet. And that's from the collection as well. And another dimensional embellishment there. And for the opposite page, I lined it with this trim from Joann's and a little chipboard piece from the collection. And it holds another little heart that can be used, you know, to jot notes or a date. And I created a little place for some smaller photos. And on the top, I just layered a part of a doily from Julie in Recollections flowers and another hand-created button. Really cute, I thought. And then the tag inside this pocket looks like this. And then I didn't do any stamping on this particular one. And then the next page is the doily paper. So I used a doily from my stash for a photo mat. This here is another one of the miniature labels, movers and shapers, and I just adhered it there so it could, hold a tag. I layered some of this piece of this trim from my stash and went on top of it with one of my created buttons. And this is just a journaling card from the collection and another dimensional embellishment there. Thought it was cute. And this tag looks like this. In the back, I just simply put a hot air balloon. This is a stamp that Lydia had given me. Thank you so much, Lydia. And then the inside back cover looks like this. It's also a pocket page. And I wanted so bad to find a way to use the little Cupid from the Tim Holtz set. So I just stuck him here, and you can write dates and stuff. And I know he's a, what do you call him? Yeah, a Cupid. But you could cut off his little arrow, and then he could just be, a cherub. Then he could just be a little cherub. super cute. So I stuck him there because I really wanted to include him. And there's a little piece from the collection that I just stuck in there. And layered some Recollections flowers. And then inside this pocket is a tag that I created with the Tim Holtz die. And on the back it just says delightful. And then another piece from the collection, or journaling card. And I stamped more birds on the back from the collection, from the stamp set from the collection, like that. So that's my mini album, and as you can see, this last page is a brown paper bag. But I think all in all, it's cute. I'll just, I'll remember the mistake I made this time, and hopefully I won't make it again. So there's my mini album using the Prima paper Divine. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.